Hello everybody, welcome to this short little class on sitting for meditation and why we bother. Okay, so most of the time I'm sitting in the class and I'm going to say to people, get ready, get comfortable, we're sitting for meditation. And people will come and they will sit down, bottoms are down on the mat, knees are up in the air. So if you try doing that, basically you're going to end up falling into the lower back, which you don't want to do. When you're sitting in meditation, you want your knees lower than the crest of the hips. So even if your ego would like to be sat with its bottom on the floor, don't. Find something to sit on, okay? So normally in a class, you're maybe going to do a 5-10 minute meditation. Sometimes you might go up to 20. So this is when this really helps. When you sit with the knees lower than the crest of the hips, you're able to get the support from the pelvis. If you think of your pelvis as a bowl, and that bowl should be level, front to back, side to side. And it's when you have that level bowl that comes from the legs supporting you that you're able to let the spine lengthen up. If I take my support away now, then yes, I can sit like this for a little while, but soon I'm going to start to fall into the back of the waist, the chest collapses, the breath is going to move up. Okay, so I would naturally, comfortably sit like this, which is a little bit higher than I maybe need to sit, but I quite like this angle of sitting. So I'm quite comfortable sat with my legs crossed. Some of you are going to be able to go into half lotus. Some of you can maybe go into full lotus, which is great. Go for it. And others are going to find that sitting cross-legged just isn't going to work. You've maybe got hip trouble or you've got knee trouble. So you can sit in Vajrasana, or you can also sit in a chair as long as you're not resting against the back of the chair. So sitting in Vajrasana, what is sitting in Vajrasana? It is sitting with your legs either side of the hips. So I sit on a zafu cushion. You may, if you want to sit up even higher, stack some yoga blocks. So if you're sitting in yoga studios, if you've gone back to them, or if you've got these things at home, then obviously you can come up a little bit higher. Okay, so you're going to be sat there, which isn't very comfortable. So let's take it down a notch. Okay, so again, quite comfortable. You've got the support from the legs. You can bring balance to the pelvis. You can lengthen up through the spine. So just bear in mind when you're starting this little journey of meditation, whether it's in class or whether it's at home, the most important thing, as it is with most things, is that you're comfortable. Because without being comfortable, you're not going to be able to sit for very long. So we find our seated posture. Okay? And then you think about, okay, now what do I do? You bring the backs of the hands to the thighs. And the reason you bring the backs of the hands to the thighs is that you have just below the V, the end V of the collarbone, where it meets the shoulder joint, there's an acupuncture point called lung 1. And when you turn the palm down, that acupressure point is shut down. It's not shut down completely, but it makes a difference. So let's practice this. Find your seated posture. Take the palms to your knees and close your eyes. And then just follow your breath. So you're consciously breathing in. You're not exaggerating the breath. You're not trying to do anything major with it. Just inhale, follow that breath. See where it goes. And keeping your eyes closed, you're now going to turn the palms up, resting the backs of the hands on the thighs. And just be aware of any changes that come to the breath. Okay, and then opening your eyes. And what you've maybe found is that when you turned the palms up, you felt the breath starting to move down into the body, as opposed to coming up to the top of the chest or the base of the throat. And the reason for that is the job of lung one is to descend the breath and connect it with the kidneys. So you're working into your parasympathetic nervous system before you've even done anything, before you've decided that you're going to meditate. So you're giving everything a little bit of a helping hand, okay? It's not the end of the world if the palms are down, but if you're turning those palms up, bringing the upper arms in so there's no strain in the shoulders, you're making the connection with the kidneys, you're making the connection with the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that we use meditation for, okay? It's our chill out nervous system as opposed to our exacerbated nervous system, whatever you want to call it. So there's us turning our palms up. The other thing that you maybe see sometimes when people are meditating is that they have some kind of scarf or shawl wrapped around them. And this is not an affectation where you decide to use your loveliest scarf. The reason for wrapping something around you is, number one, it sets the space for you. You know, you come into sitting, you find your seated posture, the legs are supporting you, you're lengthening up, eyes are closed, you've maybe lit a candle, you've maybe brought some flowers in to make the scene a little bit more comfortable. But what happens when you wrap something around you is it's that extra layer, and you're containing the space of you meditating, as opposed to just being open up to the elements. So it's all part of setting the ritual up, okay? So you bring in your wrapping your scarf around you. You can use a blanket if it's really cold. Backs of the hands to the thighs. Draw the upper arms in so you're able to just let those shoulder blades slide down. And as the eyes close, you use that as your opportunity to scan through the body, see how everything feels. You've got the support from the legs. The pelvis feels level. You're able to lengthen up through the spine. There's no strain through the back of the waist. And the chin is just slightly tucked in. So that little hollow of space where the top of the cervical spine, the neck, meets the skull, gets to just open up a little bit. It's the crown of the head that's lengthening up. You just take a couple of breaths. And then you go to whatever your practice is. So opening your eyes. Thank you for watching that. Bear it in mind, practice. Don't be afraid to stack as many blocks as you need. Don't be afraid to sit in a chair if that's what you need, to just set yourself a comfortable, safe space for sitting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or however long you sit for. Thank you for joining me.